Hello, everyone. It is an honor to be here with you. It's morning where I am. I'm going to get the presentation up on the screen and get to share a bit about our work with Women Empowering Nations. So, Women Empowering Nations has existed since 2009, and today I'm going to share with you about our programs, a bit about who we are and what we do, talk about our impact, and then I'd love to engage in a group discussion with you all in regards to how we engage youth in our work. So, as I mentioned, we have been in existence since 2009 and have served over 9,000 young women in 40 plus countries. My path to founding Women Empowering Nations 15 years ago, which we celebrated our 15-year anniversary this year, it started right out of graduate school. I went to school at Syracuse University and got a master's of public administration from the Maxwell School and was deeply passionate about girls' education. That work took me immediately upon graduation to the Gambia, West Africa, where I worked on an initiative with the World Food Program and the Women's Bureau to enhance access to rural girls' education. While I was doing that work, I founded this organization focused on leadership development for young women. And eventually, as this work grew over the years and I moved back to the United States, it expanded to reach far beyond borders. So I want to talk about an experience of one of our cohort members to give you a picture of who we serve and what we do. Our cohort member, Fatimata, she's from the Gambia. Her family is Senegambian, and her mother grew up in a small village there. However, they moved to the United States, and while Fatimata grew up in the US, she still faced societal pressures from her family members for her to focus on other things besides her education, like getting married, starting a family at a young age. But Fatimata was determined. She was determined to push on her journey, and her mother's sacrifices were really that force that drove her towards believing that she could have a path for more. And her parents allowed for her to go off to boarding school. And as Fatimata was a first generation American, first generation high school graduate, college graduate, she found our program at this turning point in her life where she was looking for community, looking for tools to grow in her leadership and elevate her voice. And so she joined the Girls Leading Our World cohort, which is one of our signature programs. She was accepted to the cohort in 2022, and she had the opportunity to travel with our organization. She then started her own organization and interned at the World Bank in 2023. She became a fellow focused on climate change in 2024. And today she is leading with Bloomberg. She works with that organization. She's also writing youth-led service reports on how organizations can engage youth in their work. But Fatimata is a wonderful example of how we work with young women at a formative age and support them with having access to the network, the tools, and the skills to grow in their leadership. This work matters because we know that of C-suite leaders, those that are serving in executive roles, only 1 in 4 is a woman, and only 1 in 20 is a woman of color. And at Women Empowering Nations, we believe that young women from the most vulnerable populations who have experienced the harm of systems and societies' inequities are best poised to take the forefront of the change for systems change and to tell their stories to drive policy change. So what we do to bring this all together, we provide leadership development training that is rooted in mental well-being, storytelling, advocacy, and global exposure. And we built this pipeline of young women all over the world where we're connecting the dots to these initiatives, opportunities, and training for them to be developed for systems change. So I'm going to talk to you about 2 of our programs that are most connected to the work that we're doing that relates to this consortium. So one of those programs is our Girls Leading Our World cohort. Oops. Our cohort is a virtual experience. It's for 3 months, and we bring together young women of the African diaspora to build the next generation of social impact leaders. It is a custom design virtual experience unlike any other out there, where we make intentional connections. We provide executive coaching, leadership development, storytelling sessions, community service outreach. And we really plug our young women into service opportunities on the ground where they are. We've had more than 4,500 young women apply for this cohort. And thus far, we've only been able to have 200 leaders in 19 countries complete the cohort. We are looking to expand and grow to meet that demand, and gain new partners that can support us in reaching more young women and being able to serve them in a meaningful way. Our cohort composition is 50% are from the United States, as we are a US-based nonprofit organization, but it is so important to us that 50% of that cohort is global. And you can see on the screen where many of our participants are coming from who apply and who are accepted into our program. The way that the program works is young women choose their social impact track. So they can choose to focus in on education, environmental sustainability, health and wellness, which is what you'll hear a bit more about today, housing security, or food access. Once they choose their track, they gain access to our global community. We have a virtual community of young women who have not only completed the cohort, but also those from all over the world. They get access to leadership coaching. They also have service initiatives in their communities, which you'll see and hear about. And they also have a network that they were a part of long beyond their cohort experience, where we provide internship opportunities, fellowships, we bring in speakers and support them on their next career steps. So the beautiful thing about our cohort is that there's a multiplier effect. When we invest in one girl, we have seen that that impact of investing in one leads to an impact of 100 or more in their community. And I want to show you how that happens. It happens during our Global Give Back Day. This is the most tangible way that we see the impact of plugging our young women in on the ground in their community. It's a day where our cohorts culminate at the end of their time, and they have a shared day of service all over the world where they work with social impact organizations like yours in their community to amplify social change. And we have seen over 10,700 children and community members benefit from just our work alone this year. This year in 2024, that is what I'm celebrating this year, is the multiplier effect of Women Empowering Nations. And I want to show you how this plays out.
Hey, Women Empowering Nations! Women Empowering Nations 2024 GLOW cohort just finished their second Global Give Back Day. 100 girls from across 15 countries came together to serve, support, and impact their communities. In South Africa, Diana led a youth development initiative where she provided education, food, and other essential resources to children at her local center. Here's a special moment from Diana's project. Over in Nigeria, Precious organized an outreach for sickle cell warriors, offering health talks, medical checkups, essential supplies, and encouragement to all who attended. Back in the U.S., Imora led the Level Up Your Network initiative, where she helped young professionals build professional connections and elevate their personal brands using platforms like LinkedIn. These are just a few of the initiatives our Glow Girls led across the globe. Their combined efforts impacted 10,700 lives worldwide. We are so proud of the incredible growth, leadership, and impact demonstrated by our 2024 GLOW Global cohort. We want you to join us in creating even more impact on our next Global Give Back Day. Follow Women Empowering Nations to stay updated and learn how you can get involved.
So of those initiatives, about 15% of our cohort members focus in on our health and wellness track. And on Global Give Back Day, we had Gabriella, who was focused here in the United States on menstrual health care. In Zambia, there was an event for young women ages 10 to 19 focused on menstrual health and hygiene and reducing stigma to improve their well-being. In Nigeria, you saw a bit of Precious's event about her outreach for sickle cell, but there are so many opportunities to join and partner with us in getting the work that you're doing, the word out, advocacy and outreach through our network and through our young women on the ground. So, where do these young women end up? Where are they now? When we look at our cohort alums, we have seen them go into a wide array of organizations, from working in the White House to United Nations. There are some at the World Bank, at Disney, at Microsoft. We are truly building a pipeline of young women who are poised to lead, but also who have the skills and the global exposure and the advocacy and storytelling that can enhance organizations and truly drive change. Our curriculum has been informed by trailblazing social impact leaders, business leaders, and trailblazing journalists who support in designing the curriculum and coming in to speak to our young women. And the outcomes of our cohort is that 100% of our alumni have experienced the prioritization of their well-being, their confidence, the knowledge of strategies to drive transformative change. We also host for our cohort members every other year a travel seminar. And this is the opportunity for us to bring together the young women from all over the world. We meet up in various countries for them to have a week of service and partnership and sisterhood. They get to learn more and immerse themselves in the countries of where we have visited. We have gone to Senegal, Gambia, Morocco, the Netherlands, Tanzania, Ghana, South Africa. And we're gearing up to choose our next location for the upcoming year. And so when I mentioned to you earlier where our young women stay, so after the cohort, they've done this experience, they're a part of our network. And we open up this network not just for young women who have completed the cohort, but also young women who are interested in learning more about the opportunities that we have available. It's a dynamic hub for young women ages 15 to 23, where we do post service opportunities, leadership opportunities. We would love to share about the work that you're doing in there and how young women can plug in and be champions for your causes. We provide live training sessions, weekly leadership, wellness, and advocacy resources. But these young women ages 15 to 23 get to be a part of this hub, whether they've been in our cohort or not, and it's completely free of charge for them. Our virtual network members span across 80 cities, across 37 states in the US. And globally, our virtual community spans across 40 countries. And so there are young women in there from all over looking for this opportunity to learn and to grow and to be developed on their leadership journey. So as I get into sharing a couple more stories of impact of how this plays out for young women who join our programs and where they end up, I'm also going to be excited that you get to hear live from one of our cohort members and now global health ambassadors. I'll go through a couple of these stories, and I want to turn the mic over to Lamboy to make sure we get to hear from youth in this space today before we go into our group discussion. But I want for you all to meet Cynthia. Cynthia is from Ghana, and she grew up in a rural community with the highest teenage pregnancy and early marriage rates. Cynthia battled pressure with her own self-esteem, believing that she was worth more than what she saw around her. But despite these obstacles, she was determined to rise. She found Women Empowering Nations, and really, even in her application, Cynthia articulated her desire to be an example for what young women in her community could see and aspire to. So Cynthia applied in 2021, and she was accepted to join the cohort in 2022. Not only did she join our cohort, we supported Cynthia in taking her social impact idea and developing a vision for that. We partnered with an organization, a business, a top beauty company, and she actually supported in building a vision for sustainability in their product development and marketing with this brand focused on their use of shea butter. We had a travel seminar to Ghana, and the corporation came out, their executives joined us, and she was able to pitch her vision, and she won the pitch competition. She eventually became an ambassador for that company in 2023. And now in 2024, in partnership with the company, Cynthia supports rural women shea farmers in northern Ghana, enhancing their livelihoods, providing training, resources, and quality source shea. It's through partnerships like these that we can unlock the power of young women to be innovative, to have a voice at the table. And truly, this business has seen growth and social impact in changing the way that they market and really focusing on sustainability for the future. Amber is another example. Amber, her family immigrated to the United States from Jamaica, and she was a first generation American student and a first generation college graduate. She has been always so deeply focused on health advocacy and specifically menstrual health for young women and those who are less fortunate. She aspired to drive for systems change, and her experience with our cohort supported her while she was in college of finding the ways to market herself and to tell her story and to speak about the social causes that she was passionate about. And Amber's career trajectory after our cohort led her to open doors, not only for herself, but also young women in our network. So she applied in 2021, became a cohort member in 2022. She traveled with our organization in 2022 as well. And then that next year, she got a job as a COVID-19 operations coordinator at the White House and was promoted after 1 year to become the associate director of White House operations. And then most recently, she was supporting and serving very closely on the Harris campaign team and is now looking to take her next step in leading for health equity as well. And so, as I've shared some of these stories, there's nothing like hearing from someone live and in person and hearing their own story because we believe in elevating the voices and the stories of young women. I am going to turn the mic over to Wamboy, who is here with me today, and she is our Global Health Ambassador. Wamboy, over to you.
Hello, everyone. Hi, my name is Womboy Gashunga, as Kalisha mentioned. I'm a second year biomedical engineering PhD student at the University of Florida. My focus is on women's health and global health as well, and I work under Dr. Ivana Parker, specifically studying the vaginal microbiome and its impact on local conditions with the goal to identify strategies to mitigate HIV risk. I'm also the Global Health Ambassador, Youth Ambassador at Women Empowering Nations, which I absolutely love. And I'm so excited to share my story. I first heard about when through a friend, Tara Williams at the University of Oklahoma. That's where I did my undergrad. Tara was one of those people who inspired Black girls like me on campus by just being her amazing, unapologetic self. She took up space boldly and was involved in everything: service, scholarship, involvement, mentorship, you name it. Terry did it and she did it well. We sparked up a conversation one day, and she told me about when and how it had been instrumental in her growth and affirming her excellence. And that's all the push I needed. And I applied and was honored to be selected for the 2024 Glow cohorts. Being a part of this cohort and gaining the leadership development and being a part of the leadership development program was truly eye-opening. I learned from incredible speakers, but I also learned so much from like each other. The diversity of experiences among the girls in the cohort was amazing and incredibly validating. It also gave me a space to kind of use my voice, grow into myself, and feel equipped with the tools that I need to be able to excel in the field that I'm in. It not only inspired me, but also gave me the confidence to kind of do more. So since completing my program in May of 2024, I've been busy. I channeled that energy into my research and authored two paper submissions, waiting on publication, so 2025. That was also what I was really excited for in 2024. I also competed in Miss Kenya USA 2024, where I advocated for endometriosis awareness. I'm very passionate about women's health, and so being in this space is also incredibly validating. I also received a community outreach fund from the University of Florida, which allowed me to give back in many meaningful ways. I led outreach events in East Gainesville, Florida, and where I taught fifth graders about AI in healthcare and getting them excited about STEM careers. I also used this funds to host a period party in Johannesburg, South Africa. I'm actually in South Africa because of that community outreach program. And we taught the community in Dobsonville about menstrual health for teenage girls and kind of provided sustainable resources to combat period poverty in the community. One helped me recognize and focus my career path as well And now my research is tailored specifically to African women's health. So that's super exciting. But I didn't do this alone. Organizations like WEN have supported me tremendously. And my story is just one of many. My Glow sisters are some of the most talented, driven, and passionate girls I have ever met. So my ask today is this consortium is filled with organizations that have the power to open doors for girls like me and like us. We're looking for fellowships, for scholarships, for service opportunities, internships, and ways to build pipelines for youth-led projects within your organization. If you have any questions, if you have any ideas, if you'd like to chat or stay connected, I would love to talk to you some more. Thank you so much for this awesome opportunity, and I cannot wait to connect.
Mhm. Thanks for sharing that, Wimboy. It's always so great to hear about the journey and all that you're up to. I'm incredibly proud of you and honored to be able to do this work alongside you. Wimboy has been in these meetings and joined the consortium with me as our global health ambassador. And it's just been amazing the ideas that she's had. She's gotten to connect with some of you already, and we're already forming partnerships. I saw a comment in the chat about your Young Leaders program, and I will definitely be reaching out. So these are the type of connections that we are very interested in gaining as we continue to grow our network, or if you all have youth leaders and young women who are interested in getting the leadership development training, thinking of ways that we can partner together and provide access and opportunity to the next generation of leaders.